Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. The holiday is almost over, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna do. I'm compounding double negatives and stuff. Anyway, who cares? We're doing the fusion plan. Let's go. Now, one slight problem for this one, folks. I'll be able to talk you through it, no problem, here on the phone, but I'm not gonna be able to draw on it like I normally do. I did try. I spent 5 minutes, not long, but I spent 5 minutes trying to use the phone's built-in drawing on it software, and that was enough time to make me say, not worth the hassle, the software sucks, and I'm not going to bother. So we're just going to walk you through it. Let's take a look. So this is a classic fusion, and in fact is running for quite a long time, which is pretty interesting. This does mean you will have to complete the fusion before it's over. You cannot save up fragments for the future. You do need to collect 4 copies of the epic to fuse up to him. And it costs a chunk of silver to do it at the end. I think, was it 1 or 2 million silver to fuse the legendary at the end? What is interesting is we do have a big personal reward CVC running Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm actually coming home at the end of Tuesday night. I might actually do a CVC stream on Wednesday. That might be kind of fun. It's a big personal reward one. It looks like the info in-game is that it's going to have some clan relic materials, though from what we can see so far, not enough to actually do a proper craft of it. Thanks, Plarium. Really appreciate that. But yeah, so I might do a CVC stream on the Wednesday. This does mean, though, that this fusion will end during a CVC. We should also have CVC, on TikTok apparently, on the 25th and 26th of March. So that could be a good spot to fuse him if you're looking for CVC points. Now, the one that we're going to have tomorrow is personal rewards. They could do personal rewards back to back for the anniversary. It also might be non-personal rewards. We just simply don't know. We won't know probably until the maybe even the Sunday, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that weekend. Let's look at the summon events then for this first, which are probably going to define a good bit. The more interesting one is the Champion Chase, I think, which is on that final weekend. That would be the other spot, by the way, to complete the fusion. If you don't care about the CVC points, fusing up the legendary for some Champion Chase tournament points could be quite nice. Obviously, if you're doing the fusion, you don't need the point. If you're summoning him during that tournament, you're not doing the tournament for the sake of getting the rare. You'll already have gotten the rare, probably. But it could still help you get a legendary book or something, so that might be a good spot to fuse him as well. It's probably going to be 2x voids, I think is what is due. But of course, it's always possible that they could do 2x for every type of shard or something like that for the anniversary. We don't know for sure. But that is coming at the end. Now, the more important thing about the Champion Chase coming at the end, I think this is actually worth doing. It's not probably worth skipping at all because, of course, it's a classic fusion. You can collect all of the other rares along the way, get to that Champion Chase tournament, and then fuse up the epics during that tournament, and hey, that's going to give you a bunch of points. That might make it very easy. Also, they might all make the point requirements really high, expecting you to do that. They've done both in the past. It's hard to know what to expect. I would say hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So expect that Champion Chase to have fairly high point requirements, but save up all of the rares and fuse the rares into the epics. You can fuse, well, at least 3 epics to help you get 750 points towards completing the Champion Chase and getting that last rare, presuming it's the last one that you need. So there is that. But yeah, 2x voids, I don't know, you're probably looking at. You can obviously use, some campaign drops that you get, any login, champs, fragments, stuff to help. The Broadmaw fusion is going to be very helpful to get points there. You're probably looking at like 20 to 30 voids, depending. Probably on the low side, seeing as you can do, you can fuse up the epic. She is a void epic as well, so she will give you a lot of points in Champion Chase. 350, because it's 2x voids, you might get some stuff for making some Broadmaws, so it's not too bad. The only sort of downside there is there's no champ training with that Champion Chase, so you're going to be leveling up those epics to fuse him. You could do it for CVC points, but sadly there's no champion training event at the end, so you're not going to get the nice points there, so limits the double dipping a bit. But yeah, I'd say that Champ Chase is probably worth doing. Now the other one is the Summon Rush for summon events. 1 rare in there, and then a copy of the epic. Yes, do you need the copy of the epic? You're definitely going to need the copy of the rare. You cannot skip any of the rares unless you get the epic. But getting that epic would open you up to skipping a few more events. Like I said, I sort of expect that champion chase to not be too bad. So you'd be more so looking at skipping some other stuff, I would say. Dungeon Divers Event 3, that's a bit of a pain, and it's not going to overlap CVC, so skipping some Dungeon Divers could be nice. Getting the epic. We have 3 gear enhancement events there. You could skip one of those, save yourself a bunch of silver. Might not be too bad. Champion Training Event and Champion Training Tournament, you could skip one of those if you got the epic. So there is some value there. Also, I think this fusion is just so good. You could always get the epic just for safety. I don't think she's going to be particularly useful, but you could get, especially if you're endgame. But if you want to be safe, you could pick her up just in case you mess up an event somewhere, because in my opinion, this is a fusion you really, really, really want to do, and you really don't want to miss. So you could grab the epic early for safety and just intend to walk away with a copy of the epic. A bit of a waste of shards, but possibly not too bad. I'd be expecting 4 or 5 sacreds, roughly, to get the rare from the Summon Rush, and then maybe 7 or 8 total to get the epic. So it might not be that many more shards. It is potentially worth doing, and yeah, you could. I think certainly skipping Dungeon Divers 3, the Fire Knight tournament at the end, could save you a bunch of time. Gear Enhancement Event 3, yeah, that's going to finish before CVC. That all might be worth skipping, so not too shabby. Getting the epic definitely could be something you could consider. So the shard events are actually looking relatively decent, I would say. It's not too bad. Having Champion Chase at the end makes, with the classic fusions, actually pretty good. So that looks fine. It's actually not too bad. Now, let's come through the energy stuff as well. So we're starting off today with a bang. Dungeon Divers starting on day 1. That doesn't often happen. They often like to start the dungeon event and then not start Dungeon Divers till the next day. Just a bit of a, just catch you out, make you waste some energy. Just start the fusion with a slap in the face. Why not? It's the Plarium way. Today they've been nice with this one. They've actually started them all on the same day, which is truly generous. They were feeling generous on this day. So yeah, I would be focusing on the Dungeon Divers and Dragon Tournament, get that done, then go into Champion Training, and again, prefer to do Champion Training by grinding campaign, so you get some Dungeon Divers points. There is no other Dungeon Tournament properly overlapping with Dungeon Divers. The Ice Golem one is probably going to start after Dungeon Divers 1 ends. So yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of campaign and Dragon. You could also, do a solo or duo champ or triple champ or whatever in Dragon. Do Dragon with some food and do both at the same time. But yeah, you just need to get it done. Get Dragon done first, I would say, generally, and then finish Dungeon Divers off with Champ Training. Swap into something fast like Spider and blitz it through if you need to as well. You've got a few extra days for Champion Training. Gear Enhancement Event 1 there, you just have to do it. Simple as 15 to 20 million silver for each one of those. Ice Golem Tournament, don't start it on day 1. Here we go. Wait until Dungeon Divers 2 starts, then get it done. So you got a bit of a gap there where I say, yeah, again, focus on the Champ Training event instead of Ice Golem. Wait for Dungeon Divers. That should start basically when Champ Training event ends, and that's when you switch to your Ice Golem. Get that done. Probably, again, swap into Spider to finish off Dungeon Divers 2 a bit more quickly, unless you're skipping Dungeon Divers by pulling the Epic from Summon Rush. Summon Rush, Classic Arena 1 is easy. Then we got a Champion Training Tournament kicking off. One slight downside, CVC, by the way, is the 11th and 12th of March. It's a Champ Training event, so you get a lot of CVC points for booking champions, but you don't get anything for a Champ Training event. You get book value for Champion Training tournaments, so it's a bit of a pity they arranged them like that. I'm sure they didn't do it on purpose, never, no. But yeah, we got a Champ Training tournament further on here. I'd say that's a good point to level up your rares. Get your rares ready to fuse, but don't actually fuse them into the epics. But prepare them, level them up, ascend them, rank them up to what you need to have them level 4, whatever, or rank, 4 stars. So get them up to that, have them good to go. That's sort of the focus of that Champ Training tournament, and again, grinding it out. You've got a Spider tournament, sadly, tragically, not overlapping any Dungeon Divers, so you can get that done very quickly. Easy to blitz through Spider quickly and then put your focus on the Champion Training tournament. So I think that Champion Training tournament is, it's always a bit of a pain, but it's, you've kind of got your focus on that for a few days. There's nothing else taking really much focus away while that one is on. You could obviously do the start of it with some Dungeon Divers too, do some campaign. It's not too bad. watch a TikTok video then on the next day, and then come back. You've got the Fire Night tournament kicking off again. Wait a day. You've got sort of a day off there on Thursday, and then you don't really want to do too much Fire Night. I mean, do a little bit. There's no harm. But, you know, don't be spending any gems. Wait for the next day when the Dungeon Divers 3 event starts, if you're doing it, and then get it done. Finish off Fire Night, and then again, hop into Spider or something and finish it quickly, or whatever dungeon you prefer. I don't know. Farm some days set in Dragon if you really want some. Don't do that. I'm joking, by the way. Just in case someone goes and farm some days. And yeah, then gear enhancement to end it. Yeah, that's basically it. I think it's relatively straightforward, honestly. Yeah, starts off fairly simple. The champion training is going to be fairly intense. I guess the biggest decision is, are you going for the epic and the summon rush and then potentially skipping some dungeon divers? Or are you going to skip the epic and the summon rush? It will also depend when it actually goes live and how expensive those events actually are. What am I going to do? For me, that's a good question. That's a great question. I will see what the summon rush points are. I will see what the points are. What the progressive chance is going to be for the summon rush. I don't know. I might grab the epic for safety, just in case I do something stupid because I really want the fusion, but I could also just skip it and just do everything else, and I think I'd be totally fine with that. Yeah, I think I'd be totally fine. So I'm not too decided. I might grab a safety epic, but I wouldn't be interested personally in a copy of the epic, and I don't think that the fusion looks too bad. So yeah, I don't know. Might grab the safety epic and see how we go. Potentially skip some of those events towards the end. Skip the Dungeon Divers and Fire Night, Gear Enhancement 3 maybe, and just go farm some Minotaur, farm some Sand Devil instead, something like that. So that's how it looks. I would also, of course, be very, very, very prepared for a Hero's Path, probably after it. Again, this ends on Tuesday. We'll be going into CVC. Expect a CVC with fairly tempting, I would think, progressive events on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then expect a Titan event probably, or Hero's Path, probably a Hero's Path, I would say, more likely, I think, at the end. So for the end of March there, yeah, for that weekend with lots of summoning and whatnot, which will give a 5-star soul for Fabian. That is very high value. They could be real dicks and they could put the 5-star soul for winning the Champion Chase tournament or Summon Rush or something like that. That would be dreadful, and you're basically screwed unless you're a Kraken. But we're gonna have to hope and be prepared for a Hero's Path for his 5-star soul, and you 110% want to get it. And actually, you probably want to save up your red essence and get the 6-star soul for Fabian, would be my advice. That's certainly what I'm going to do. I was saving up, thinking about doing Marius probably next, but Marius might get delayed slightly on his 6-star soul. That's also a pretty darn good one. We might get the 6-star for Fabian instead, upgrade his 5-star. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't quite decided, but either way, it's probably going to be Marius Fabian or Fabian Marius. They're going to be my next 6-stars. He just benefits a lot from, in particular, the extra speed is really good. You definitely want the 5-star. Probably, by the way, probably Temporal Chains. It's a nice effect, helps him cut in, but that bonus accuracy is really good, and he's such a strong champ. So yeah, should you do this fusion? Yes. Should you be prepared for a Hero's Path afterwards? Yes. I think you definitely want him. You definitely want his soul. Looks to be one of the strongest fusions. Probably going to be one of the strongest fusions 2025. One of the strongest fusions of all time, honestly, I think. Just an arena monster. Not very useful outside of arena. Great for wave control, but I mean, you might have Armans already. He sort of does the job for wave control generally. But yeah, Fabian's really good. Oh, and just to mention, I wouldn't be too pushed about the rare or the epic, really. And I think that's everything we need to know, right? Sorry, there's no drawings and whatnot, but yeah, that about covers it. I will do a showcase on Fabian probably on Wednesday. So yeah, might see you guys for a stream on Wednesday. I'll have the Fabian showcase as well. The stream will probably be a bit later on Wednesday because we don't get home until like 1 or 2 in the morning. So I won't be getting up super early on Wednesday. I might get up, do the Fabian showcase in the morning, and then we might do a stream after lunch. So like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. UTC, that sort of thing, on Wednesday the 12th, probably. We should also have new live arena season starting, I think, on Tuesday as well. I don't know. We'll find out. But there you go. I think that just about covers it. Yeah, I think that covers it. Stay tuned for the showcase. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.